Welcome to Exchange Rates UK TV. It is the 1st of September 2021, taking a look at some multiple time frame analysis with the Ichimoku system for Bitcoin. Just did it on Ethereum. Now we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. So on Bitcoin's chart, of course, we got kind of a doji indecisive candlestick up here. We did close the prior 3-week candle above the Tenkan-sen. This current 3-week candle began on the 23rd of August, and so the next 3-week candle doesn't open up until the 13th. So we've got another 12 days, just shy of 2 weeks left in this current 3-week candle. RSI-wise, there is no divergence, but if it does create some new highs, then we will have regular bearish divergence, but that doesn't really mean much. Especially when you're in price discovery mode and creating new all-time highs. Transitioning over to the weekly chart, get rid of that fib level there, and that one. See a pretty flat and indecisive trade last week. So Bitcoin closed down 1%, and 0.99%. It opened at 49,291. And it closed at 48,801. So not much of a huge change there. This is the 7th week from the low that was established in July, on the week of July 19th. This is part of a Gann cycle. This is a death cycle. Notice that the volume has been dropping off significantly each week. If volume precedes price, then the interpreted move would be for some falling prices. Now, when you look at the volume, though, yes, the current weekly volume is below last week's volume, but also we have another 4 days left of this current weekly candlestick, and we're just, I think we're slightly above half of the volume that was traded last week at the same time. So that's kind of on par for it. So right now, the Kijun-sen on the weekly chart is acting as the current near-term support level. That's at 46,825, or you could just say 47,000. That's where the current support level is. The current weekly candlestick also is an inside bar at the moment, meaning that the range of this current weekly candle is inside the entire range of the prior week's candle. So essentially, we have a lower high than last week and a higher low than last week. Looking over at the daily, I wanted to look at the oscillators. Really not much to look at here. Fairly neutral on the RSI on the weekly chart. Starting to curve down a little bit, though. Starting to round out the top on the composite index. So watch out for that. But ultimately, on the weekly chart, the thing that's going to probably determine whether we break out higher like Ethereum is when that %B moves above 0.8. If it does, that's going to generate some significant pressure higher. Finally, we look at the daily chart, and we've got a very nice looking bullish engulfing candlestick on the current daily chart. The volume is matching up to be pretty much on par with yesterday's volume. It's slightly lower. There's just a little under an hour left in the current daily candlestick. There's a clear bullish pennant pattern that exists on the RSI. There's a triple bottom on the composite index here. And going back to the %B, if the %B moves above 0.8, that's going to be a really big deal. And it's going to be an important event that might push Bitcoin much, much, much higher, much, much, much faster. So be on the lookout for that. The level that we want to pay attention to is almost, it's kind of the big red truck one. It's 50K. Once it moves above 50K, really, actually, probably should say 50,500. Once it moves above that, then we should have some pretty free movement all the way up to 57,000. The volume profile is relatively thin between 50,750 and 54,000. So there's some open space in there that you could see it pop up. Just remember, though, that September is generally a fairly bearish month for cryptocurrencies and for risk off markets in general, risk on markets in general. So just be aware of that, that the rally that we see going on right now today, that could extend all the way through the Labor Day weekend in the States, and then you might see it stop and have a pretty short-term violent correction. So just keep your eyes open for that. Other than that, that does it for me. Thank you, everyone. From all of us here at Exchange Rates UK TV, please don't forget to like and subscribe.